Okay, welcome back. Thanks for watching. We're just going to dive right into a fresh look. We're going to look at things a little differently. We're going to dive into a fresh look at the creation account in the Holy Bible. And we're going to look at the science of it as well. Now, again, this is the most controversial stuff, so many of you will have lots of questions and go, what? And those things. So I encourage you to look it up, study these things that I mentioned, and come to your own conclusions. But I'm going to throw a lot of stuff at you. So we'll dive right into the creation account. So let's start with science. So the Big Bang Theory puts forth that at the beginning of the universe, the universe was hot and it was very compact, right? And then the universe since then has been expanding and cooling, and that's the Big Bang Theory in essence. Within the theory, the age of the universe is predicted at about 13.8 billion years old. Now, again, dating is always where the controversy is. That's where you'll find everybody arguing most of the time, is dating. But let's take that. That's what science has given us. That it's roughly 13.8 billion years old. It's estimated to contain 200 billion galaxies. Can you even fathom that? That's wow. That's amazing. I know there's some YouTube videos out there that just keep expanding and going out, from Earth. Those are just amazing to watch. The theory does not describe how energy, time, and space were caused. The theory does indicate a singularity at the origin of cosmic time. Well, what's a singularity? What is cosmic time? I want you to look that up. Some things you can look up to help with that besides the Big Bang are brain, BRANE, cosmology, or eternal inflation, right? So some of the scientists out there kind of already know what those things are. And so that's good. Okay, so now let's move from there. The Milky Way galaxy is said to contain between 100 and 400 billion stars. That's a lot of stars. The age is estimated at 13.61 billion years. Now, our sun is near the inner rim of the Orion arm. And it takes our solar system roughly 240 million years to complete one orbit, just one orbit of the Milky Way. How do you even wrap your brain around some of this stuff? This is big. This is huge. And further, it's a very, very long time to wrap your head around. So already, it's almost too complicated to even fathom. Yet, that's what it is. And that's what science tells us. It also tells us that our solar system now, as we shrink down and get smaller, right? Our solar system is believed to have been formed roughly 4.6 billion years ago. Earth was believed to have been formed about 4.54 billion years ago. Now let's dive into Earth. Water is believed to have been on Earth at least 4.28 billion years ago, according to science, and possibly up to 4.4 billion years ago. So water may have been on Earth a very, very long time. How was Earth formed? Well, Earth, we don't know. We don't know. Earth may have been formed by gradual accumulation of icy planetesimals. You know me and pronunciations. Planetesimals. You scientists know what those are. For those of you that aren't scientists, look it up. And this is supported by similarities in the abundance of and isotope ratios of water from the asteroid belt. It's also supported by osmium isotope ratios as well as lunar samples collected from Apollo 15 and Apollo 17. Now that can't happen if you're one of those who don't believe we went to the moon. But we did. And we brought back things that's really helped us with science, and that's one of those. So now let's dive into what the Bible says on all of this and see if these things don't go together, if they're not right with one another, because I think they are right lockstep. Genesis 1 verse 6 through Genesis 1 verse 10 supports what I just told you. And God said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters." That's in English, mind you. And God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. And God called the firmament heaven. And the evening and the morning were the second day. And God said, "Let the waters under the heaven be gathered together in one place, and let dry land appear." And it was so. Notice where I'm putting the pauses. I'm not putting the pauses like the sentence structures are in the Bible because it wasn't written that way. And God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters called the seas. And God saw it was good. Now, firmament in the Bible means place. It also can mean piece of, or collection in Latin and Old Hebrew. Now, the earliest time, according to science, for the origin of life on Earth is 4.5 billion years ago, not long after oceans formed. Earliest direct evidence is microfossils and microorganisms that are permineralized in 3.465 billion year old Australian apex chert rocks. So now let's look at Genesis 1 and 20. It supports this evidence. And God said, "Let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that hath life, and the fowl that may fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven." Now, evidence of cyanobacteria on land as early as 1 billion years ago exists. Animal development occurred about 750 million years ago, again supported by Genesis 1:20. The Homo genus dates 2 million years ago. Homo sapiens date back 300,000 years ago in Africa. And I'll tell you, they're already making current archaeological discoveries to date it further back than that. 160,000 years ago, we start to see behavioral modernity. The Catahoyok civilization dates from 7500 BC to 5700 BC in Turkey. Now, I mentioned that behavioral modernity. What is that? Well, that's the ritual. One of those things that helps is the ritual of burying the dead, and that we know has dated back as far as 300,000 years ago, and we find that in the Rising Star cave system in South Africa. Genesis chapter 1 is the only chapter dedicated to the creation. And so if we take a fresh look at that chapter, we kind of start to have some enlightenment now. We've been told this information in more simplistic ways already that doesn't contradict. So we already know, based on the Bible, what science is telling us, and what the Bible says and what science says doesn't contradict. Combining science, the science of it, helps us understand the Christian religion as a factual faith. Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, God created the heaven and then later the earth. That's what it says. Genesis 1:1. That doesn't contradict the science of it. Note, it does not say he created the heaven and earth and the earth at the same time. Doesn't say that. Just as I mentioned that the universe and then the galaxy and then the solar system and then the earth, right? Those were created at separate times and formed at separate times. Well, it already says that in the Bible. We just read it. I just read it to you. So, the writer of Genesis wrote in the same way, in the exact same way science has told us about the Big Bang. But in the Bible, because of the way it was written, we move from heaven to earth in the first 10 words of the Bible, right? So the writer took 10 words to move that length of that huge amount of time covering that vast amount of area, right? And so you have to think about the way they wrote back then and the way they talked back then and the way they passed things on. Why was it done that way? Yeah. So the information is delivered in a manner that was best suited to ancient audiences' understanding. And again, the information is object-based, objective faith. That's the object, of the Bible, of faith. So the focus is who and what. As they're discussing it with ancient audience, the focus is who and what, not why. Not why. It's who and what. But it's also here 13.8 billion years ago that the universe sees the origin of cosmic time. That's very important. Let's move forward one verse. See, we're just moving one verse at a time here for a little while. Genesis 1:2. And the earth was without form and void. Let's separate that. And the earth was without form and void. And darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. Okay. Void here means a state of being was happening. A state of being was happening, was working. A draining away of water and gases and matter is what was happening. That's what the Big Bang says. No form, that happens later. Motion was happening. The currents of space and events. Cosmic time is passing here in the Bible. Tehom in Hebrew. Also, tohu vavohu. I don't know how to pronounce that. Not being Jewish. Some of you Jewish folks and whatnot can help me with these pronunciation. Water in Hebrew is mahim, right? Mahim, right? Kind of like mayhem, but mahim, that's water in ancient Hebrew. Is that right? All right, we'll tackle one or two more verses here as we start to take a fresh look at this. Genesis 1:11, and God said, "Let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit of the tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself, upon the earth," and it was so. Grass is deshi in Hebrew, meaning new growth. Yes? Genesis 1:14, and God said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven, to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs, and for seasons, and for days and years." It was not until here did we have both day and night on earth. Well, we know when that was, according to science, right? And so the Bible doesn't dispute this in any way. And that was between 4.54 and 4.6 billion years ago. Dust and hydrogen gas collapsed, causing the cloud to flatten and spin. Earth's orbit became eccentric. It was changed repeatedly over time. And so it was here the Earth's rotation and orbit actually saw both a day and a night. So let's relook at the whole time passing thing. In Genesis, when we look at a number of days as cosmic time, we must remember also that we're looking at it from Earth's POV, point of view. Yom in Hebrew means a period of time. The further away we look out from Earth, the further back in time we're seeing. That's mind-blowing. But the ancients kind of already understood that concept. Believe it or not, they kind of already understood that concept. It's amazing what the ancients knew and what we discount that they didn't know. So the knowledge about cosmic events that the ancients had is just mind-blowing. So in summation of the creation, very quickly, 13.8 billion years ago is the universe, creation, and origin of cosmic time. 13.61 billion years ago is the birth of the Milky Way galaxy. 4.6 billion years ago, the solar system is formed. 4.54 billion years ago, the earth was formed. And all the above time, as mentioned in the Bible, was the first day of time. And that's our point of view. 4.5 billion years ago, water and plant life formed. That was the second, third, and fourth day, or period of time. 750 million years ago, animal life is formed, the fifth day, or period of time. 2 billion years ago, mankind is formed, and that's the sixth day. And then I'm going to leave you with, to tease the next video, between 160,000 years ago and 5009 BC, Adam and Eve were put into the Garden of Eden, and that was after the seventh day. After the seventh day. Thanks for watching.